for tuning in. I know it's been a while since I have last uploaded a video. I really apologize about that. I was really excited to tell my story just because I really want to just tell, like, basically expose what's going on and all of the crap that I deal with, because it's not okay. I was just very hesitant just because I don't want everything to get worse than what it already is. And I have to take into consideration that she is most likely going to end up watching it. So I need to make sure that every detail is in there, that I don't miss anything, or just I want to tell the full story, in depth. I've been very detailed, because I have also thought that what if our girls see it one day, and that is so powerful all on its own, because they been manipulated by their mother, and that's another part of it that's not right. And it's not appropriate to sit down with the kids and to tell them this is what's going on, and this is why it's wrong, and this is why this should be this way, or and it's just not really appropriate to sit there and break that down to children. So I just hope that I have always had faith that at some point in their life, whenever they get to a certain age or a certain level of maturity, that they will see everything for how it really is. And I can't wait for that moment to happen. But I feel like my video will also, it just tells my entire story and my entire side. So I'm kind of conflicted, because I want to be very free with my speech in it. I want to express myself freely and fully and unapologetically. So I'm just trying to find the perfect balance to do that. And it's kind of funny because I've actually recorded the whole thing twice, and I just edited it. I spent a whole day editing it, and I was like, gosh, I left this out, I left that out, and it didn't sit well with me to think I'm gonna post it, and then I just didn't want any flaws to be in that. So yes, I'm still working on it. And I also had a really good session with my therapist yesterday, and I kind of just got her advice on it. She was like, by all means, tell your story, tell the world, get some advice, see what you could do different, or what you can do better, or maybe what you should not do. She's like, totally, it's your story. So yeah, that was very encouraging. So after that, I was like, I got the fire back under my butt to do it, and I'm like, let's do this. I felt the urge to make this video, and this one is actually about Britney Spears. I was born in 1995, so Britney Spears was like the shit. Used to be a huge fan. I didn't know that all this time she had been in a conservatorship. I barely found that out. I think it was last year when everything was going on with COVID. I remember seeing people just pointing out that she may be troubled, or something may not be right with her life because of, I believe it was her Instagram posts, that she was hinting or giving hints, and then if you could figure it out, someone told her, if you're in danger or in some kind of trouble, wear yellow in your next video, and she actually did. So that kind of just shocked a lot of people, and I think that was actually the moment when everybody actually started talking about it. And that's how I seen it, and I just thought, wow, that's really interesting. And I know it is believed that Amanda Bynes is in kind of the same boat here, and the same thing almost kind of happened to Lindsay Lohan, but her family, or her father, did not allow for this to happen to her. And it's really saddening to see that this is what ended up happening to Britney. That her family, instead of really loving her and being proud of her success, they just ended up being very toxic and greedy, and found a way to kind of, trap her, and to find a way to benefit from her fame and her prosperity. Today was a really big day. It was the court hearing for the conservatorship. The judge stated that they actually wanted to hear from Britney personally, which I believe, because of the conservatorship, it does not allow like the individual that's in the conservatorship to be able to speak on their behalf, to make decisions on their behalf. So I mean, if you think about that kind of life, that's got to be frustrating and just not fair, especially if she doesn't truly need to be in a conservatorship. The kinds of individuals that would truly need to be in a conservatorship would be an individual that is not able to make important decisions for themselves, and even involving like spending their money or making financial decisions or any kind of monumental decisions in their life like you and I can do. But this is not the case for Britney Spears. She's actually not anything that her family is claiming, that she apparently needs like extensive therapy. I also want to point out that everything that everyone was thinking all this time, like once her conservatorship became common knowledge to everyone, that it was all thought or seen as a conspiracy theory. Everyone was like, no, you can't really prove that. There's no way, like she has to be in a conservatorship for a reason. But after like looking into everything, like I've done my own like research and have, just kind of sat back and listened because I was very curious on this topic. She does not need to be in. There's no reason why she is in it. It's very toxic and it's very greedy. There's so many people gaining money and taking her assets that really shouldn't have any right to do that. What is happening here is not right. It was, like I said, it was seen as a conspiracy theory, like, oh, none of that can be proven, like you don't really know. But it was all proven today. She was able to speak and she made everything very clear. I tried to listen to the entire thing, but I was not able to hear the beginning part. So what I did was I took note. I'm going to go over the part that I did hear, and then I also found a clip on Instagram of somebody that recorded it. Now, it was illegal to actually record the court hearing. So luckily it's not my recording. I just found it on Instagram. By the way, I just made an Instagram, so go follow me on Instagram. I did attach it to my about section on my YouTube channel, so you can find that link there. Please follow me. I am new to the Instagram world, so I'm learning that too. So I'm just gonna kind of go over like the key things that she talked about, and then I'm gonna show you the clip so that way you can hear it for yourself as well. And it is, I do want to, let everyone know that the clip is, since someone else recorded it, the person that recorded it was actually like there at the courthouse outside. Like people had signs and they're wearing Britney shirts or free Britney shirts. And it was like a whole vibe. Okay, they had music playing, her music playing, so it was really cool. I was like, oh, I wish I could have been there. They start, cheering and hollering and clapping out of pure happiness whenever she says some of the things that she says, because it's just so liberating. Like, we all knew it was happening, so it's just crazy to hear her say it and confirm it. And, she really went for it. She did not hold back. And it's crazy because you can hear it in her voice. Her voice sounds shaky, like she's scared, or maybe she's just nervous. Like maybe, think about it. You have this moment, like they're finally letting you speak for yourself. So she probably had so much to say that she just had to cram it all in and hope to God that she didn't forget anything, So you can definitely hear the shakiness in her voice, but she totally went for it. She called everything for what it was. And so let's begin. She stated that they gave her lithium against her will. What kind of people would give you lithium as a form of punishment? I mean, that can actually be a very deadly drug. I've read that you're not supposed to take it any longer than like 5 months or something like that. Don't quote me. I mean, and she didn't even need that. That was given to her as a form of punishment, okay? So that was stated apparently before the part that I was able to start listening in on. What she was saying whenever I was able to tune in, her lawyer is trying to tell her not to share her story or not to expose what's going on in fear of her being sued, like counter-sued. And bringing up her attorney was court appointed, which means the court just gives you an attorney. And she says, you know, that she's been able to kind of, you know, build like a little friendship with her attorney, but she has never been able to handpick her own attorney. And she states that, you know, that's a problem and that she would like to be able to pick her own attorney. She states that she wants her conservatorship to end without her needing to be evaluated. She states that she has done research on conservatorships ending without evaluations all the time, unless a family member expresses concern for the individual that is in the conservatorship. And it's so funny. She says that since her family has lived off her for the last 13 years, that she's pretty sure that they're going to have something to say. So she kind of like tries to like warn the judge that this is what they're like. What's happening to me right now is not okay. And she's like, this is what they're like. They don't have my best interest. And since I want to end my conservatorship without an evaluation, she's like, they will most definitely speak up and try to hinder me being free. That's basically what she's trying to tell the judge. She wants to sue her family and expose what they have done to her. Like, that's a lot to tell the judge, like, straight out. Like, this is just straight out. She states that she has to attend 3 meetings a week, regardless of anything. She's complained that she's even had to attend these meetings even when she was so sick, like, and didn't have the energy or the will, the strength in her to even be there and be able to pay attention to anything they're saying. She's like, you know, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to 3 meetings a week. And she's also stated that in order for her to spend any of her money or to leave her house and go somewhere slightly fun or amusing, she has to go to the meetings 3 times a week. And she also states that she doesn't like it because they always have different therapists and she doesn't know them and she doesn't feel comfortable telling them her problems. She feels like she works for the people that she's paying. So think about that. That must be a very awful way to feel. That's how the people around you are treating you. They make you feel like you work for them. Sorry. No, that's not right. Don't get that shit twisted. Says she wants to only have 1 meeting a week with a therapist in the privacy of her own home. And I don't think that should be anything wrong with that. She states that Jody, and I'm not too sure who Jody is, but I think that Jody is the person that's kind of like, besides her father, is the person that's kind of like managing or overseeing everything that goes on with Britney. So she says that Jody is taking it too far with her, that she's scared of people and doesn't trust people after what she's been through, and they force her to go to exposed places. Now, I found this very interesting when I listened to her speak, because she uses the word exposed quite a few times, but the way that she uses it, she kind of means it to describe, like, they make her go to places where she's like vulnerable and not safe and not like she should probably have security, like, and you'll hear like what I'm talking about, but I just found that interesting how she uses the word exposed. But there's a scenario that comes into play like right here where she says that she left the therapist session, or her therapy session, crying, and paparazzi took pictures of her. She used these words, that it was embarrassing and demoralizing and that she deserves privacy. So that is something, you know, I don't like people looking at me when I cry. I mean, I don't cry in public places normally, but you know, sometimes life is just life, and something might bring you to tears, and whether it's good or bad, and it is a little embarrassing to be seen crying. And you know, going to therapy, I go to therapy, just talked to my therapist yesterday. Things do get emotional, and sometimes you do cry. And, you know, being in a therapy session, so many like raw moments and things are being talked about. Like it just feels, it's so just, it's, you just deserve the privacy, okay? You deserve it, and no, you shouldn't, you know, be having paparazzi lined up out the door, and it should just be private. Like the therapist should just be able to go to her home to do the session, because then, you know, they don't have to worry about paparazzi. Right after she states that, the last thing that she states is that she deserves privacy, the judge actually asks her to please slow down with her talking, because I guess the recorder, you know, that types and like, you know, documents every single word verbatim that is said in the courtroom or during the hearing, that they are having a hard time getting all of everything that she's saying. So they ask her to please slow down. And it's kind of funny because she actually acknowledges it. Like she's like, okay, yeah, sorry, cool. And then she starts talking even faster. So I'm like, does she like sense that, like, you know, if whenever she's told things like this, like in her day-to-day life, like as a kind of warning, or like, you know, she's kind of taking it, and this kind of helps you see how she reacts to the way that she is being treated. Like she's like, okay, this is my warning, so I have to talk faster, like almost like fear that like now something wrong is gonna happen, you know. At least that's my 2 cents about that, okay? A therapist that totally abused her. She said this a couple of times in like a couple different parts in her what she said, but she says that he totally abused her and 100% abused her. She doesn't go into detail on what kind of abuse. She just says by the treatment that he gave her, and I guess he died. And she says that when he died, she got on her knees and thanked God. Literally got on her knees and thanked God. Whatever kind of abuse that was, and whatever his treatment was, it was so bad that when he passed away, she got on her knees and thanked God. Gosh, imagine that feeling too. Violet Jr., be quiet! Also states that they locked her in rooms, and I don't know if she must have talked about that before. I was able to start listening in on what she was saying, so I'm sorry I'm not able to elaborate more on that, but still, being locked in rooms, like why were you locked in rooms, and for how long, and for what? Like, just what condition was that room in? Was it comfy at least? Did it have light? Was it dark? You know, there's a lot of questions. I lost my spot. She says that she currently has a new therapist that she does not like and did not approve of. She states that it's not okay to make her do things that she doesn't want to do. And she says that her mom, Jody, and this so-called team, she should just be able to sue them for all of the threats that they make to her. And I guess they threatened to not let her go on a trip to Maui if she did not go to all of her meetings. And I actually just started following her on Instagram, and I see that she was able to make that trip to Maui, and she like really cherished it. So I'm glad that she was able to go, but I mean, she had to be threatened in order to do something that she did not want to do just so she could go on her trip to Maui. So like, she's clearly unhappy and does not like being forced to do things that she doesn't want to do. Like many of us, we all feel that way, right? She's a human being too. She states that if someone is in a conservatorship and is making money and functioning, then they don't need to be in a conservatorship, which is true. And she is that person that is, you know, able to function. She has common sense. Like, she knows what's going on. Like, she's not anything that they're trying to allege that she apparently is, that would give true grounds for her needing to be in this. She says if I can work and provide, then she doesn't need to be in the conservatorship, which, Yes, that's very true. She's told that she can't spend her own money by people that she's paying. Imagine that. Like, they're sitting there telling you, no, you can't go spend your money, you can't do this, and you're like, but I'm paying you. Like, oh, I would have like the worst time with this. Like, if I was her, like, I don't even know how she's doing it. Like, no wonder she's crying out for help. Like, she needs it. Seeing therapists make her think of the other therapists that abused her. She believes that her conservatorship is abusive, and she states that they can sit there and say all day long that conservatorships are there to be helpful, but she says, but there's thousands that are abusive. She believes that hers is abusive and that she knows that there's thousands out there that are abusive as well. So she's like really speaking for tons of people that have unfortunately found themselves in this kind of predicament, that are not able to help themselves or get help that they need to get out of it. So I feel like, you know, she's really not only speaking for herself in that moment, but for anyone else that is in the same situation. She doesn't believe in therapy, actually, that she would rather take it to God. They should be respecting what her simple, wishes when it comes to simply that. She states that during COVID, Jody lied to her and apparently told her that there was no self-care services available, like as far as like getting your nails done, like, you know, those simple joys. Like, I enjoy getting my nails done. Like, that feels really nice and pampering, you know, just get a break. Apparently Jody told her that there's no services like that, and she specifically states that she went a full year during COVID without getting her nails or her toes done, that she did not get her hair done, and that there was no, like, wasn't able to do acupuncture appointments, which clearly that bothered her. Like, she is a very wealthy woman, and poor thing can't even go do all of that. She even states that her maids had their nails done and in different colors every time that they came to her house to clean. So she knows that there was services available. And she also states that even her mom went to the salon a couple of times and got her hair done and her nails done. So she's like, I clearly know that I'm being lied to. Like, fuck that. Now, this is the part that like really tore me apart. Like, I actually wanted to cry when I heard her say that she just wants to be able to go for a ride in her boyfriend's car. Like, imagine that. She can't even do that. She states that she wants to get married and have another baby. She's always wanted a girl. So, I mean, imagine that. She states that she has an IUD that she was told to have, or, as a form of birth control, because they don't want her to have any more children. So she's not even able to, oh, and then I guess in her conservatorship, they state that she is not allowed to be married, get married, or have any more children. So it's just that extreme. And she deserves the right to be able to just live a normal life, just like everyone else. There's no reason why this should be happening. She states that she feels ganged up on, bullied, left out, and alone, and that her conservatorship is doing more harm than good. There's like a 20-minute recess because I believe the father's attorney states that they want to speak to the client, so the father. And so there's a 20-minute recess, and then they come back from the 20-minute recess, and they just say that the attorney speaks for the client, the father, and says that they're deeply saddened to see her in the state that she's in, like as sad as she is, and that he loves her and misses her. And that's really it. Like, there's nothing else to say, nothing to just, that's it. So then they keep talking, you know, and then out of nowhere, the call just, it ends. And the judge did say that, you know, she has just been made aware that, I guess, a sealed document of that's a part of the case had been leaked, and she clearly was not happy about it, and she doesn't know how it happened. And then she also states that she has also just been made aware that someone is recording in the courtroom somehow, and so she cut it off. Like, the whole thing that that even allows you to hear it. So that's just kind of where it ends. Not only that, but when they came back from the 20-minute break, Spears' attorney speaks and says that Britney is saying that since she was able to speak and get everything out, that she now wants everything to be sealed and to be private going forward. So it's like, why? Like, I mean, I guess I get it, but at the same time, like, I'm kind of like, was that really her decision, or is that them because they went on the 20-minute recess? So who knows, you know, who's manipulating or controlling what, you know? Controlling people just gotta always find a way to keep on controlling things. I mean, I am gonna keep following everything that goes on because I'm really curious to see like how everything ended. I know right now it was just such a big deal that she was even able to talk for herself today, and then she ended up like confirming everything that everybody was thinking, and she like lit their asses up. Like, really, she just confirmed it all and told her truth. I actually find that very inspiring. For my story that I want to tell, I feel like it does need to be out there, and I kind of feel like I don't feel it, I know that it needs to stop, and I know that it's not right, but it's like there's not much that you can do, you know. I can't control certain situations. I've been way too nice in it. I've put my emotions aside several times for tons of reasons, and you know, I feel, you know, the way that she wants to be helped, that's the way that I kind of want to be helped in my own way. So, in the same way that she, you know, wants to expose everything that's going on, I feel that same need and calling to expose what I'm going through and what I've had to endure all this time. And you know, just how she's looking to be saved or to be freed or for something to change, that's what I want. I want to be saved from this problem. I want to be freed from it. I want to be able to do everything effectively and the way that it all should have been from the beginning. And I want a change in it. So, you know, I guess if I gotta put your ass on blast, then fine. But, you know, even if she doesn't change, even after she sees the video or the world's, you know, hears my story, I honestly don't expect anything less. I'll be shocked if she does change. But anyways, I just want the story out there. So I really feel like just that girl power in all of this, like it really, you know, helped me. And I feel like, you know, I was busy doing other things today, and I just stopped for a moment to pay attention to this, and it was just kind of like a aha moment. So I wanted to make a video about it. Now I am going to show you the little clip that I found on Instagram where you can actually hear for yourself what she said. So yeah, enjoy.
They attempted to close the courtroom, and Britney herself says she wants it to remain open. Britney also says the people who did this to me should not be able to get away and walk away so easily. Britney is speaking, and we are listening.
Recorded call to you. Actually, we're doing this now, which I didn't know that we were doing this. To the public that knows what they did to me. I told I know my lawyer Sam has been very scared for me to go forward because he's saying if I speak up, I'm being overworked in that facility of that rehab place. The rehab place will sue me. He told me I should keep it to myself. Really, I would personally like to. Actually, I know I've had grown with a personal relationship with Sam, my lawyer. I've been talking to him like 3 times a week now. We've kind of built a relationship, but I haven't really had the opportunity by my own self to actually handpick my own lawyer by myself. And I would like to be able to do that. Yeah! The conservatorship without having to be evaluated. I've done a lot of research, ma'am, and there's a conservatorships for people without them having to be evaluated all the time. The only times they don't is if a concerned family member says something's wrong with this person, and otherwise, considering my family has lived off my conservatorship for 13 years, I won't be surprised if one of them has something to say and go forward. This should end. We have to help her, especially if I get my fair served in turning exposing what they did to me. Also, I want to speak to you about, at the moment, my obligations, which I personally don't think at the very moment I owe anybody anything. I have 3 meetings a week I have to attend no matter what. I just don't like feeling like I work for the people whom I pay. I don't like being told I have to no matter what, even if I'm sick. Jody, the conservator, says I have to see my coach Ken even when I'm sick. I would like to do 1 meeting a week with a therapist. I've never, even before they sent me to that place, had 2 therapy sessions. A therapy session and 1 therapy session with I have a doctor and then a therapy person. What I've been forced to do illegal in my life, I shouldn't be told I have to be available 3 times a week to these people I don't know. I'm talking to you today because I feel, again, yes, even Jody is starting to kind of take it too far with me. They have me going to therapy twice a week and a psychiatrist. I've never in the past they have me going, twice a week and I'm a Dr. Gold, so that's 3 times. Never in the past, therapist more. It takes too much out of me going to this man I don't know. Number 1, I'm scared of people. I don't trust people with what I've been through. And the clever setup of being in Westlake, one of the most exposed places in Westlake, which yesterday, paparazzi showed me coming out of the place, literally crying in therapy. It's embarrassing and it's demoralizing. I deserve privacy when I go. I deserve privacy when I go and have therapy, either at my home, like I've done for 8 years. They've always come to my home, or when the Dr. Vincent, the man that died, I went to a place similar to what I went to in Westlake, which was very exposed and really bad. Okay, so wait, where was I? It was identical to Dr. Vincent, who died, the one who illegally, 100% abused me, gave me to, and to be totally honest with you.
Excuse me for interrupting you, but my reporter says that you could just slow down a little bit because she's trying to make sure she gets everything that you're saying.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I have been through, and the clever setup in Westlake is identical to Dr. Vincent, who died, the one who illegally, 100% abused me by the treatment he gave me. And to be totally honest with you, when he passed away, I got on my knees and thanked God. In other words, my team is pushing it with me again. I have trapped phobias, being in small rooms, because the trauma locking me up for 4 months in that place is not okay for them to send me, sorry, I'm going fast, to that small room like that, twice a week with another new therapist I pay that I never even approved. I don't like it. I don't want to do that. And I haven't done anything wrong to deserve this treatment. It's not okay to do anything I don't want to do. By law, Jody and this so-called team I should be able to sue them for threatening me and saying, if I don't go and do these meetings twice a week, we can't let you go to Maui on your vacations. You have to do what you're told for this program, and then you will be able to go. But it was very clever. They picked one of the most exposed places in Westlake, knowing I have the hot topic of the conservatorship, that over 5 paparazzis are going to show up and get me crying coming out of that place. I begged them to make sure that they did this at my home so I would have privacy. I deserve privacy. The whole conservatorship from the beginning, once the conservatorship from the beginning, once you see someone, whoever it is in the conservatorship, making them money and myself money and working, that whole statement right there, the conservatorship should end. There should be I should be in a conservatorship if I can work and provide money. What state allows people to own another person's money and account and threaten them and saying, you can't spend your money unless you do what we want you to do, and I'm paying them? Ma'am, I've worked since I was 17 years old. You have to understand how thin that is for me. Every morning I get up to know I can't go on somewhere unless I meet people I don't know every week in an office identical to the one where the therapist was very abusive to me. I truly believe this conservatorship is abusive, and that we can sit here all day and say, oh, conservatorships are here to help people. But ma'am, there's 1,000 conservatorships that are abusive as well. I don't owe them to go see a man I don't know and and sharing my problems. I don't even believe in therapy. I always think you take it to God. I want to end the conservatorship without being evaluated. In the meantime, I want this therapist once a week. He can either come to my home. No, I just want him to come to my home. I'm not willing to go to Westlake and be embarrassed by all these paparazzi. These scummy paparazzi laughing at my faces while I'm crying, coming out and taking my pictures as all these white, nice dinners with people drinking wine at restaurants, watching me through these places. They set me up by sending me to the most exposed places, and I told them I didn't want to go there because I knew paparazzi would show up there. They only gave me 2 options for therapists, and I'm not sure how you make your decisions, ma'am, but this is the only chance for me to talk to you for a while. I need your help, so if you can just kind of let me know where your head is. I don't really honestly know what to say, but my requests are just to end the conservatorship without being evaluated. I want a petition, basically, to end the conservatorship, but I want it to be petition to end it, but I don't want to be evaluated and be sat in a room with people 4 hours a day like they did me before, and they made it even worse for me after that happened. So I'm honestly new at this, and I'm doing research on all these things. I do know common sense and the method that things can end. For people, it has ended without them being evaluated. So I just want you to take that in consideration. I've also done research. Also took a year during COVID to get me any self-care methods during COVID. She said there were no services available. She's lying, ma'am. My mom went to the spa twice in Louisiana during COVID. For a year, I didn't have my nails done, no hairstyling and no massages, no acupuncture, nothing for a year. I saw the maids in my home each week with their nails done different each time. She made me feel like my dad does. Very similar, her behavior and my dad, but just a different dynamic. Team wants me to work and stay home instead of having longer vacations. They are used to me sort of doing a weekly routine for them, and I'm over it. I don't feel like I owe them anything at this point. They need to be reminded they actually work for me. Also, I was supposed to be able to, I have a friend that I used to do AA meetings with. I did AA for 2 years. I have I did 3 meetings a week. I met a bunch of women there, and I'm not able to see my friends that live 8 minutes away from me, which I find extremely strange. I feel like they're making me feel like I live in a rehab program. This is my home. I'd like for my boyfriend to be able to drive me in his car. And I want to meet with a therapist once a week, not twice a week. And I want him to come to my home because I actually know I do need a little therapy. I was told, hold on. I think and I would like to progressively move forward, and I want to have the real deal. I want to be able to get married and have a baby. I was told right now in the conservatorship I'm not able to get married or have a baby. I have a ID inside of myself right now so I don't get pregnant. I wanted to take the ID out so I could start trying to have another baby, but this so-called team won't let me go to the doctor to take it out because they don't want me to have any more children. So basically this conservatorship is doing me way more harm than good. I deserve to have a life. I've worked my whole life. I deserve to have a 2 to 3 year break and just, do what I want to do. But I do feel like there is a crunch here, and I feel like I feel open and I'm okay to talk to you today about it. But I wish I could stay with you on the phone forever, because when I get off the phone with you, all of a sudden, I hear all these no's. No, and then all of a sudden I feel ganged up on, and I feel bullied, and I feel left out and alone, and I'm tired of feeling alone. I deserve to have the same rights as anybody does by having a child, a family, any of those things, and more so. And that's all I wanted to say to you, and thank you so much for letting me speak to you today.
Oh, Britney! Oh, Britney.
All right, guys, tell me what you think about what you heard her say for herself. That was such a beautiful, powerful moment, just being able to hear her and even the tone of her voice, but you know, she said it. She was loud and proud about it too. So comment below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and now I can't wait to tell my story. Thank you for watching, guys. Mwah.